What if someone you lost who had died returned? This episode of AFTERBUZZ TV is brought to you by the powerful and riveting new drama, Resurrection. You won't be able to stop watching or talking about it. Resurrection premiering on Sunday night, March 9th at 9/8 Central, only on ABC. You're not going to want to miss it.
Mr. Langston, did your son go missing, sir? I haven't. He's okay.
My son died 32 years ago.
What if someone you lost returned?
Daddy! Honey, who is it?
Jacob. I'm coming home. The television series event begins.
You're not the only one, there's others.
Resurrection. Series premieres Sunday, March 9th on ABC.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Jean.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies.
This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Baby Daddy After Show.
We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ
TV's Baby Daddy After Show.
Hey guys, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's Baby Daddy. And I love that Andreas was dancing to it like he was telling people to call him. And this is Baby Daddies. We're doing actually 2 episodes. We're doing Romancing the Phone and The Bet, episodes 6 and 7. I'm your host, Annika Michelle, and with me is...
I'm Andreas, Greek Casanova. Call me.
Well, we're excited. We're doing actually 2 shows today, but before we get into those shows, we want to tell you more about the great TV show, which I think you guys will like, and I'm really excited about. You heard Maria talking about it a little bit in the intro. We just want to give you a little more info on it.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Okay, so imagine somebody you know died, like whether it's your grandmother, father, I imagine it's a person, and all of a sudden they returned. Isn't that interesting?
That's crazy. Like, if my grandma came up to my doorstep, I'd be a little freaked out.
All right, well, that's exactly what's happening in a small town of Arcadia, Missouri, on ABC's new drama called Resurrection. So what's happening basically is residents of this town who have passed away are all of a sudden coming back.
I mean, as you heard in the preview, it all starts with an 8-year-old named Jacob. He reunites with his parents, and they're totally confused, as would I be, honestly, if somebody who died 32 years ago comes back.
I know, it's crazy, but it sounds like a fun premise to this show. So, of course, there's going to be, a lot more mystery when more people besides Jacob start returning.
Right, and just the previews alone for this show have me asking, like, a lot of questions, like, are they coming back alone? Like, where do they come from? How do they fit back into the story? Because it seems like when they come back, they're the same age as they were when they died, so it's a little weird.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of questions, which is perfect for something like AFTERBUZZ TV. And this is something like, obviously, I'm going to be talking about with my friends and family and stuff at the bar or whatever, the water cooler. So it's going to be perfect for AFTERBUZZ.
Of course, and unlike, other TV shows that are popular now that have zombies and aliens and all these other weird characters, this totally new and impossible to guess where their story will go, so it keeps you hooked for sure.
All right, well, when does this premiere?
Sunday, March 9th on ABC at 9/8 Central, and that's ABC's Resurrection premiering Sunday, March 9th at 9/8 Central.
I know I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there,
It's
and
a
you
date.
AFTERBUZZ, let's do it. And you guys definitely don't want to miss this out. So
back to tonight's episode.
Baby Daddy.
Holla. First episode. What was it?
Romancing the Phone.
Which is why we had Blondie call me. And you didn't ever call me.
I didn't.
I was waiting for my cell phone, but no.
I failed. No one
You're busy
called
doing your own
Andreas.
thing. At least text me.
Sorry, next time. I was like so into I've been into drumming lately, so I've been so random. Don't
Where?
ask.
Oh, because you're in Jamaica.
I was in Jamaica.
Oh, everybody, she was in Jamaica for 5 days for free.
I was. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen DeGeneres. But yes, back to Baby Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Romancing the Phone. There's a lot that happened this episode. It was definitely
This is like a Christopher Nolan episode. It was so confusing, and there's so many plot twists.
Twist. That's what I want to say.
Well, on this episode, Tucker and Ben, It's kind of confusing, actually. I'm still
really
confused.
Is.
I probably should rewatch the episode before I talk about it. So Ben finds a girl's phone.
Because Emma stole it.
Because Emma stole it, that little thief. She's like,
she always seems to steal the hot girls' phones. Never like the not attractive girl, you know?
Emma's smart, though. He's training her well.
Yeah.
She's like the little monkey from Dunstan Checks In.
Oh my God, I forgot.
No, I just compared her to a monkey.
But that was a good movie.
Yeah, no, it was really good. So Emma steals this really attractive girl's phone.
Right.
Now Ben has it.
Yes.
And she calls it, obviously, because she's looking for her phone. And Ben ends up talking to her for like 2 hours on the phone that night. And they end up to like planning a coffee date or whatever.
Yes.
So they go out for coffee. But what happens? Something happens. This is where it gets really confusing.
So she thinks that Ben is the one that stole the phone. So Ben was late to show up to give the phone back. So she starts yelling at him. But in the meantime, they've had like conversations together. So
oh yeah, that's right. He shows up like.
So she commits it. Like Tucker's like, well, maybe you should have someone else go as you, and then you could sweep in and be, not Ben, and like take her,
Yeah. So they do the switch. So now Tucker's Ben and Ben is Tucker. Because he thinks she's mad at Ben.
Yeah.
So instead of being mad at him, he's going to be Tucker. Tucker goes in as Ben.
And B's like, kind of jerky or whatever. Because she was being really rude to him, honestly.
Yeah, she's got a really short temper, I think.
And a stranger is returning your phone, the least you can do is be nice.
Yeah, especially an iPhone.
Right.
It was the new model, too.
And it was unlocked. Like, they could have gotten,
I've had my phone stolen. Nobody ever returned it to me.
No one returns it.
I was on Craigslist paying $400 for a new phone. So I would be thankful. I would buy him like a biscotti
lunch,
or something.
A biscotti.
Triple frappuccino, whatever.
Whatever you want.
It's worth it. So, yeah, Tucker goes in as Ben. She's kind of mad at him. Ben comes in as Tucker and saves the day, and he thinks it's going to work.
But it doesn't.
Clearly.
Because,
yeah, she thinks, she likes dark chocolate, apparently, because she thought it was really cute.
Yeah, and then they go home, and she thinks that she's having these hour-long conversations with with Ben, but it's actually with I confuse myself. She thinks
she's having these conversations with Ben, the real Ben,
pretending to be Tucker.
Pretending to be Tucker. So yeah, she
sees Tucker's face and hears Ben's voice.
Yeah. So now it's so confusing. I know. God, why did they have to make it so confusing this episode? I'm sitting down writing notes, trying to.
You have like 3 pages of notes.
So that was that twist, and I'm still mind boggled by it. So I'm still recovering from that. It was like So at the end of the day, what happens? So
then she was like, well, she asked Tucker out, thinking it's Tucker, not Ben. And then Ben was like, well, you need to tell her that it's you, and like I need to go out with her. So he like video chats, and he never says, and he just kind of runs off in the apartment. So that kind of ends with that.
Yeah, so that plot ended pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning. That was the most confusing part of that episode.
And we get on to more confusions. I feel like these next 2 episodes.
This is the episode of confusion. So listeners, if we're confusing you more, you can mute the first part or fast forward over. This part's not as confusing.
No, this part is pretty self-explanatory.
This is where Riley's childhood
camp friend,
nemesis, enemy, camp friend. Everybody has that person that they just didn't get along with.
That one upper, that one person had to do everything better than you.
She did everything better than
everything.
Her. So she's in town, and they meet at the bar. And I wrote, I thought one of the funniest lines of the episode was when Riley was talking to Heather, played by the beautiful and talented Cassie Sgourdos from ABC Family's Make It or Break It. I have a funny story about her.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later. so Riley meets Heather at the bar. And Riley's like, Heather's like, oh my God, you look exactly the same to Riley.
Right.
And Riley's like, well, I lost 90 pounds of weight, 2 feet of hair, and I lost my speech impediment. She's like, no, you look the same. And I thought that was, she's been working so hard on her appearance and all this and nothing. She can't get anything from her.
Nothing.
So, yeah, no, Cassie does a really good job
of playing the mean girl that you want to hate.
Yeah. And in person, she's like the sweetest human being on the planet.
She's not like her character.
No, like after that episode, like everybody, like she was really cool. We all went out. This is real life, guys. This isn't
this isn't fake life.
This is fake life. This is real life. No cameras. This is Yeah, so we went out, and I found out she's like an Italian. I'm Greek. Like, we have like similar upbringings, big families. We love to eat food and just like be around the family, big family origin. So we played paintball.
Yeah.
You were in Jamaica.
I think I was in Jamaica when you guys played.
Yeah.
Or else I would have come and shot y'all down.
So like we have like the roommates, Derek, JL, and me. We all do this. Well, it's our second year doing it, but it's turned into this annual paintball outing.
Okay.
So Cassie found out about it through the grapevine.
Oh, no.
She wanted to go. We're like, I don't know. Last time girls went, they were like, you know,
complaining about the
they played a
bruises.
couple games and they didn't want to play any longer. She's like, no, I'm down. I'm hardcore paintballer or whatever. She's never done it before.
Okay.
Apparently it was on her.
No.
Apparently it was on her bucket list. No, it was awesome.
Really?
So
okay.
she shows up, camo from head to toe.
That's awesome.
She looks like G.I. Jane.
Yes,
she looks
G.I.
like she's
Jane.
like Saving Private Ryan, like Black Hawk Down.
That's
she's
hilarious.
like down to play some paintball, and she was really good. And
Was she? Did she beat you guys?
She hit me well, she didn't hit me, but I think she hit Derek a couple times because she was on my team.
Yes.
And she did really well. And we're like, well, you know, it's all fun and games until you get hit with a paintball. And she was fine. She took it like a champ. So applause to Cassie.
Yay, Cassie.
I think she was on AfterBuzz last week.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what the rumor has it. Rumor has it. Yeah, so we're doing 2 episodes today.
We are. And just to go back to this one, that's crazy. Good for you, Cassie. And I wish I could have been there. And
yeah, I'm
shoot
just
me
giving
all
you props,
down.
Cassie, because you're badass. Paintballer.
That's crazy. Good for you. I thought you were going to say, like, oh, she got there and she was like, no.
Oh, yeah, I could make something up and make it more interesting.
Yeah.
But I just want to give props where props are due.
There you go.
Cassie, yeah, you're a ride or die chick.
Ride or die. That's awesome.
Faux shiz.
But in this episode, you can tell, like, they met up just to, like, kind of one-up each other. Like, Riley's like, oh, I have my own.
They're sitting on
they're
sitting on the couch, and that interaction was so bad because
Oh,
you could
so
tell
awkward.
She's like, she lost all this weight, she cut her hair, she looks great, and she just wants her moment to revel and brag.
Yeah.
And she's like, look at me, I made it. And she's like, well, I'm a lawyer.
Right.
And Cassie's like, I'm a lawyer too.
Right. And she's like, oh, well, I heard you're back home with your parents. And she's like, yeah, until my new house is like
her new house is getting renovated.
She's like, oh,
and
God,
then,
I just live in a condo. Like, what am I going to do?
It's another episode where you just feel bad for Riley.
Right.
Riley is not winning.
No, not in life. But she was winning when she told Danny, because she wanted to get back, because Danny comes and she calls Danny. She's like, I need you to, like, please come down here and save me. You need to hit on me, pretend you're attracted to me, blah, blah. So obviously he is attracted to her and he comes down. And so.
Oh, yeah, when Danny comes to the bar?
Yeah. Heather mistakes that hitting on, like, as if it's for her, not Riley.
Yeah.
So then she's like, I love the line. She was like, he's like, oh, I'm a hockey player. And she was like, oh, I love hockey. I played in high school. And Riley's like, no, you didn't. No, she didn't. And then, like, she's like, I bet I can score on you any day.
Yeah.
And, like, Danny's like,
Yeah, Riley's whole plan backfires because obviously she has this, like, ridiculously good-looking professional hockey player friend who is deeply in love with her, would do basically anything for her.
Which is why he came down,
but
let's
he's
be honest.
He's an idiot. So
only in the show, Derek.
So, like, yeah, only on the show. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so she basically asks him as a favor to, you know, make me look good for once.
Right.
And he comes and he's making her look good for like maybe 2-3 seconds. But Cassie, she's just that
turns
one
it
upper,
around.
Turns it around, gives her her number, and now guess what? Danny's going out with
Cassie. They have a date.
Oh.
Until she was like, no, Riley's like, I need to get back at her. She needs to be in my position. So then they're back at the apartment. Heather's supposed to walk in any minute. So she tells Danny to take off his shirt. She, like, pushes him on the couch. She takes off her top or, like, whatever, unzips it so her bra's showing.
Yeah, of course we have another episode where Danny takes off his shirt.
I mean, no one's complaining.
And he still has a six-pack. He
no
didn't lose
one,
it.
let me tell you, no one's complaining about that.
They got into a pretty, like, sexual position.
They did.
And that line, that was so funny. He's like, are you going to be on here for a while? She's like, why am I hurting you? He's like, no, that's not the problem.
That's definitely not the problem.
Yeah, so basically Cassie / Heather walks in through the door, sees her, and she kind of, had the feelings hurt for once.
Right.
And Riley basically gave her a piece of her own medicine.
Yeah. And you would think she'd be happy, but then she was like, oh my God, I feel horrible because now I know what she feels like because I would feel like that all the time. Did you have a friend like that, Andreas?
Who what?
The one upper?
Sat on me while I had my shirt
Oh
on.
my God. I'm sure you've had many friends like that.
Call friends with benefits.
But I meant
a one upper. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't have that person as a friend because that would just be annoying. But I've encountered many one uppers in my life, and they're just a plague. It's like a bad energy you just want to get rid of.
You need to get rid of.
But you know what? Riley, obviously we all know Riley's a good person and her heart is in the right place. And when she saw Heather and her feelings and her expression on her face, she did the right thing, and she wanted, she felt bad. And she's like, at first she's like, haha, I got you. And then she's like, well, now
I feel bad.
I feel like that's what she did to me, and that's not the kind of person I want to be. So, yay, Riley.
Yay, Riley. And she
gets back at her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then, well, at the end of this episode, because Heather sees that Riley's on top of Danny, she's like, well, okay, whatever, she did that to my date, I'm going to do something to the guy that she's been in love with.
And that's a segue into the other small mini plot with Melissa, because Melissa
during this episode
uses Tucker, which obviously Tucker doesn't give the best advice about anything. He's the kind of he's the one that you shouldn't go for advice, because he gives really bad advice, but he's the character that everybody continues to go to for advice.
But like, think about the other options.
Yeah, you really have. Yeah, you have Danny,
who's hitting on the wrong girl.
Yeah, I mean, you should just.
Who are you gonna listen to?
They gotta find somebody else. They gotta recruit some new friends, or she should have some kids that are a little more intelligent. I don't know. But yeah, basically Melissa is now a realtor.
Right.
And she needs to, sell some houses. So she needs a marketing expert. And that's where Tucker comes in.
Tucker and his jobs.
I like this line as he says, I work in TV and shining up crap is what I do for a living. So I thought that was kind of funny.
That's funny. It is. And her face when he said that, she was like,
yeah. And the first the first picture they had of her, like her first thing.
Yeah.
She just had that facial expression, and she's like, now I know like what my grandma looks like. I look like my grandma.
It was so bad, and like people kept calling because they thought it was like a sex line, because she's like, I can sell any.
Oh yeah. Tucker basically, he's like, I'm gonna help you and make you look good. So he comes up with looking for a hot property, and then we have Melissa on a beach in New York. And I think I wrote something down.
That was too funny.
Something about, I don't remember. It was something, I don't want to screw it up.
Okay, look for it in your notes.
Something about sitting on my face has never been this expensive. That's because she was on a bench.
Yeah.
So.
They have such good writing on this show. It always cracks me up, honestly. But that was a funny plot twist. And then like guys kept calling her, and like somebody asked like, oh, do the curtains match the drapes?
Oh yeah.
And Danny's like, Mom, don't answer that. They don't mean about the apartment. Like.
Yeah, she thought she was doing really well. She's getting all sorts of calls, but we know what those people wanted.
It was not an apartment.
They wanted her real estate.
Right?
Yeah.
But the end of this episode, before the beginning of the other one, Heather tries to get back at Riley.
Yeah, and oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. So they finally found a billboard photo that worked, and it was with her and her family.
Right.
And that's when Heather saw a picture of Ben, and she's like, isn't that the guy you used to be in love with?
Yeah.
She's like, no, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? So now she's like, boom, that
Done.
seed was planted inside of her head. A little foreshadowing. Now we know Heather wants to get back at Riley, and she does.
She does.
At the end of the episode.
Riley comes over, and Danny's standing there, with a little undershirt thing on, and she was like, oh my God, please tell me you didn't sleep with her. And he was like, no, she's not mine. And out comes Ben out of the bedroom,
swagger Ben in his little PJs,
gives her a kiss in the kitchen in front of Riley and Danny.
Yeah, so
and it's like, you just can hear Riley's heart breaking.
I don't know how she has a heart left.
I don't know how she's still friends with them. I really don't. I mean, Danny, a bit more understandable. I don't know how she's still friends with Ben.
Yeah, I don't know. Ben, it's like I want to root for him, because, but it's like he just keeps screwing up, and it's almost like he doesn't care.
Would you be friends with someone like that? If someone you liked and kept messing up that much, would you still hang around them, even though it hurt your heart?
If I liked, I mean, no, of course not. I'd like to think I wouldn't, but obviously she's in love with him, and when you're in love, you do crazy things.
You do.
So,
and they grew up together, so it's not like they just met or something.
Yeah, and I don't think he's I think that if he was intentionally going out of his way to hurt her or make her jealous, that's one thing, but he's doing it unintentionally.
Yeah.
And so it comes across as not as bad as it could be. If he's like trying to rub it in her face, it's one thing. But that's just bad, too. He doesn't realize what he's doing. It's like, yo, check it out, man. You're old enough to figure out this girl obviously cares about you. And bringing a girl that was her enemy at camp into your house where she frequents, and there's an opportunity for her to see that, there's a chance. That's probably not a good idea. There's a million fish in the sea.
And you know that she's going to get hurt, you know?
So that's how that episode ends up. And which brings us to the second episode,
which is called The Bet, which kind of connects these two episodes together. Honestly, a lot of the same storyline kind of continues.
Yeah, it could have been one long episode.
It could have been 1 hour long special.
To be continued episode.
Yeah, which I feel like it kind of was, because she even said like last night you slept with da da da. Like it started with that, you know.
Yeah, so basically the story picks off where the last episode ended, and now Riley challenges Ben, saying, "You know what? She only slept with you to get back at me."
Right.
And Ben, being a bit narcissistic and having like a kind of a big ego, is like, "No, what?
She likes me.
She clearly likes me."
Yeah.
So they make a bet, and the bet goes something like, if you can land a date with Heather in the next 48 hours, then you have to do something. They don't really
say what it is.
They're not specific.
Yeah.
You know,
they each get to pick something that the other one needs to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So we know who wins. we know what happens with that.
Yeah, but he obviously tries to get a date with Heather. She pretends like she doesn't know him, blah blah. But meanwhile, as this is all going on, Riley and Heather plot together to get back at Ben, and so that he doesn't win this bet. So they're like, "Look, he's gonna try to ask you out. Don't say yes. You know, blah blah." They try to plot against him together so that they could get him to do what he needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ben thinks, okay, that part of the episode was funny when Ben calls her up and he's on the phone and he's like right in front of Riley.
Yeah.
Before they even start plotting, he calls her up. He's like, watch this. He's like, hey, what's up? Heather. Yeah, no, it's Ben from last night. No, from last night. Like she already forgot, which is sad. Tells you a lot about Heather's character. She either gets around or he's just he's a very forgettable.
Not even priority.
Yeah. So that was funny how they did that.
That's really sad if that would happen in real life. Like who?
I forgot. Wait, who are you? Ben. Wait, Ben who?
Yeah. Wait, last night? Okay.
And then he's like, yeah, let's go out. And then she hangs up on him right in front of Riley.
Yeah.
So we also have Bonnie. Okay, so Bonnie wants to break up with Brad in this episode.
Right.
So Bonnie basically is going to break up with Brad because Brad, on the surface, he looks great. Very good-looking guy. She's very attracted to him. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like The Bachelor. It's like Juan Pablo. All these girls right off the bat, they're like, oh, he's so sexy. He has an accent, swagger. Oh, my God. But at the end of the day, he has no substance. She thinks he's immature, right?
The Bachelor.
Brad is The Bachelor minus the accent.
Oh, my God.
And
not in real life, Peter.
No, Peter's a great guy.
He's so sweet.
And he's got great hair. We mentioned that before.
We have.
If he ever comes on the show, if he ever resurrects and comes back on the show, he needs to give me some hair pointers because
you
that guy's
have good hair. What are you talking about?
It's not like that though. It's not Peter hair.
Oh, it's not.
That's on a different level.
Naturally curly, I feel like, or wavy. Like his hair, I feel like is naturally straight.
So you prefer my hair?
Yeah, it looks
what,
fine.
You were about to say no.
No, I'm saying there's a difference. I'm saying like his is straight, so it's like easier to like, you know.
I wonder if he flat irons that.
You never know.
I don't want to invest in a flat iron. Plus, I heard it's bad for your hair.
It is bad for your hair. It burns it.
Yeah, so.
Speaking of.
Do you flat iron your hair?
No, I got this done. It takes me 4 hours.
You got a Brazilian blowout?
No, this is someone blow drying it for me. This is not.
You have somebody who cares about you that much to blow dry your hair for 4 hours.
No, if someone professional does it, takes less than an hour. But if I do, it
who
takes
blow
4.
dry it for 4 hours?
Nobody. I said I got it done professionally.
Okay. What does that cost?
Like 30 something. Not too bad. So they
just blow dry?
Yeah. You go to the dry bar and
then what? As soon as you wash it, it's curly again? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so glad I'm a guy. Oh,
Yeah, I have naturally curly hair, obviously, if you guys have seen the show. So this is crazy for me to have straight hair right now. Anyways, back to Baby Daddy. And
so Emma goes to the dry bar. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Bonnie's dry bar. Do you remember that?
She could. So Bonnie goes to she's like, everybody, all the fans are like, don't break up with Brad. Probably. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, Bonnie, come on, it's Brad. Are you gonna get better than Brad?
No, you can't. You can't.
So it would have been funny if she broke up with Brad and then went out with his twin, who is smart.
Tad.
That didn't happen though. Tad and Brad. So as soon as she's gonna go break up with him, who calls? Brad. Where is he? At the hospital. Obviously he has some sort of injury. So, and Danny, it's funny because Danny doesn't want her to break up with Brad. Yeah. Because Danny's like in love with Brad. They get along. He's like, who's gonna play video games with me? Who's gonna watch blah 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 blah. So
and Danny's, it's like they're close in age, which is hilarious. Yeah. It's like his friend.
Danny's got like a man crush on somebody a couple years older than him, and he feels like if his mom breaks up with this guy,
he's never gonna.
Then he's gonna lose Brad. Bonnie doesn't care. Bonnie's like, I just gotta break up with this guy. So she goes to the hospital to break up with him.
Yeah.
And then. That was a funny line. I don't know. I didn't write that down, but I remember him saying, I should have wrote it down.
And your
something
3
about
pages of notes.
Before the semi hit me or something. Or what did he get hit by something?
I feel like he got hit by a truck or something.
Oh no, the elevator door shut on his head.
Wait, what? It was his leg injured, wasn't it?
I thought it was his head.
Oh my God.
There's so many injuries in this episode. These last 2 episodes are really confusing. He had some sort of head injury, and he said before the door, correct us if we're wrong, shut on my head. I thought about you, like life flashed before my eyes, and I thought about you. And he says, I love you. That
the 3 words.
3 words. And she's like, I love you too.
Obviously doesn't mean it if she's going to break up with him.
So
feels bad.
Good job breaking up with him, Bonnie.
Right. Just feels bad because he's in the hospital.
So now she's like, oh man, I messed up.
I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
So she's at the vending machine in the hallway of the hospital, and she's trying to get her dollar so she could buy a refreshment or something.
Yeah.
Maybe an e-cigarette.
Which are now, by the way, illegal in California.
All those. I'm so glad I didn't take that sales job.
They are now all illegal in California. Anyways, if you guys are watching and
2 weeks ago, I was at the mall. This guy's like, he comes up to me. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, do you have a job? I'm like, I don't know, kind of. I guess it's really part-time. He's like, well, I have a business. I'm selling e-cigarettes.
They would stop you for that.
He's like, I really like how you present yourself. And I was going to like a catering gig. I had like black, like not nice dress pants, a black wrinkled shirt, and a skinny tie. He's like, you should work for my company. Here's my business. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I sell e-cigarettes. And they are a great idea, but now that they're banned, it's like, where are you going to use them? The whole point of smoking them is that you could smoke them indoors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, back to the story.
Back to Baby Daddy.
She's possibly buying a refreshment or an e-cigarette.
Or trying to find another man, knowing Bonnie.
Yeah. So she's trying to get the dollar to work or whatever, and then right behind her is a really strikingly handsome middle-aged man.
Yes.
And his name is Jim.
Which I feel like it should have been a sexier name.
Like, what would be the sexy, like Francois? No, because he's white.
Francois? Where is this show?
Francisco?
We miss you, Francisco. He's out.
What's his sexiest name? Juan Pablo?
Juan Pablo Calvez.
No, but he's like white.
No, I would pick like...
Jax? No.
I would pick... Oh my gosh. I'd pick like... what's a sexy one? Like... Ryan?
Ryan is not sexy.
Ryan Gosling is sexy.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's sexy, not because of his name.
I know, but that's the Ryan I'm thinking of.
Well, think about she's going to come with a really sexy name before the end of the episode. She's going to let everybody know. And it's cool because what I like about Baby Daddy is it's an ABC Family show, so they bring a lot of actors and actresses that have been on ABC Family before. They bring them back on the show. So we have Cassie in this episode from Make It or Break It, and then we also have Jim, who's played by Bruce Thomas, who played Jean-Luc Bilodeau, Ben's character. He played his dad on ABC Family's popular show Kyle XY back in like 2006. So yeah, he's on the show.
I love that and Matt Dallas was on it too.
Matt Dallas was on it.
But I'm saying,
yeah, it's cool. I like how they do that. They keep the family in the family.
They do.
So Jim's on the show. Jim meets Bonnie at the vending machine. He finds her attractive. He says something like, you might try hitting it hard to the right or something. And she's like, yeah, that's how I work or something like that. She says something. I really need to write this down because I'm butchering the language of the show. The writers are just like, how dare you.
But I love that you have 3 pages of notes and none of them are quotes.
I have some quotes.
Like, what did you write down?
You guys want to hear my quotes?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did you write it?
Wait, I can't get to those. No,
Okay, while you look for it, she's trying to get this thing. So then they start talking, and he asks her out, and she says yes. So he obviously thinks she's single. Longer story short, she goes back into the hospital room, and Brad's getting released from the hospital.
Yeah, Brad's getting released from the hospital. She's, obviously just met Jim. She's in the gym. My quotes are coming up later in this episode. I just can't say it now because I'm going to jump the gun.
Okay.
So, Brad tells Bonnie, right? He wants Bonnie to move in with him.
The next step, I love you's just been said.
And flash forward a little bit, and then we have them at a bar, right? And she's on a date with Brad's father, Jim. And
Brad walks in.
And here's my quote. So, great transition into the quote that I wrote. And this is verbatim, so you can't mess with this. Okay. Bonnie says, "Nothing ruins a good date faster than your boyfriend showing up."
That's very true.
Was that a good read or what?
That was very good.
So
it was like very much announcer-ish.
Who would say that though? Like nothing. I mean, it makes sense, but I mean,
that's really sad. It's very sad.
It's funny coming from Bonnie.
Yeah, it's expected coming from Bonnie.
Yeah. So we have that. So we have Bonnie with 2 extremely good-looking guys.
And then they find out that, Brad obviously finds out he's going out with the dad.
Yeah, and she tries to escape. Well, first she tries to escape out the window.
Which is really bizarre. Okay, first of all, she had trouble getting out of that window. Am I the only one who was like, hello, Danny and Bonnie pull the window a little up and she wouldn't be stuck in it?
Yeah, and it was a really small window for Bonnie
really
to try to
small
go through.
Window.
Like, there's got to be a bigger window at that bar for her to try to escape
and like
from.
just open it a bit more. But I guess it wouldn't have been as funny if it was just open and she just climbed out.
Yeah, this is comedy, baby.
Yeah.
So I got another quote. Are you ready for this?
Oh, here we go.
So Bonnie's stuck in the window. We have Danny, being the great son that he is,
yes.
trying to get her out.
I know what
He's
you're
like,
say.
push, pull, make her decision. And then she's like, just touch it. I'll take you to therapy later, which was funny.
Meaning her butt, obviously, because he has to touch it to push her out.
Yeah. So he had to back it up. Back it up.
But that's gotta be awkward for a guy to touch his mom's butt,
Yeah, I don't remember ever touching my mom's butt.
No,
Yeah, so therapy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that could be next episode. Danny in therapy after
Bonnie
touching his mom's butt. And then on the outside of the bar, we have Brad and we have Jim,
who now find out about each other with Bonnie.
And Bonnie basically finally musters up the courage to break up with him, Brad. And she's like, you're just too immature for me. Blah 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 blah. What did he say? That's funny. I feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
So he's leaving. He's like, come on, Dad. Aren't you coming with me? He's like, well, I mean, if you're
not dating her, I might as well just take her. Why are we both going to lose her?
And then he gives him like the look and then
walks off. Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
I mean, I feel like that would happen with friends more. Like, if you're not going to date her, I'll take him,
Yeah, that would be so weird having to compete with your father over the affection of a girl.
That's bizarre.
But, I mean, your dad's a pimp if he can pull that off. So I would give him a high five. I'd be like, go for it, man.
A legit pimp. But to wrap it up, the bet. So
Ben, obviously. Okay, so,
we'll just wrap it quickly.
It turns out that Heather and whatchamacallit were trying to plot against.
Yes.
Riley were plotting against. Riley basically confesses her love to Ben to get him to cut off the date with Heather.
Right.
And Heather shows up. Ben cuts off the date with Heather because he says he's still in love with Riley. And then he finds out that they're plotting against him the whole time. 2 girls are more powerful than 1. So he loses the bet and he has to tap dance in a silly outfit.
And a blonde wig and like some jester outfit in like New York City.
He reminded me of like Bruno.
Yes,
Sacha
Bruno.
Baron Cohen. And this like really silly like jester kind of outfit from medieval times.
Yes.
And like we've mentioned this before, we had Jean-Luc on the show and he's a very, very talented dancer. So I mean he had some cool dance moves.
I love that I interviewed him before on set and he told me that he did 9 years of tap dancing, and those 9 years of tap dancing came in handy in this episode.
It would have been cool if they showed a little more tap dancing skills, but it was fun, and it just showcases that, he's multi-talented, and he's got some moves, And
moves like Jagger.
And I was in the background, and I was.
I saw you in the pink shirt.
It was salmon pink. It was salmon pink.
Hey, real men wear pink. I'm not judging.
I had a couple too many at the bar that day, so I was just like. But it was funny because they were filming it on their cell phone, and then they ended up seeing it at Times Square.
Broadcast in Times Square.
So good episode. I'm sorry if we confused you.
It was a confusing 2 episodes, but those are both wrapped up now.
And I got all my quotes in for the most part.
Yes.
So I'd say that's about it.
Yeah, that's good.
Do we have any news and gossip?
I don't have any news and gossip. Do you?
Oh, I just told you we went paintballing.
That was a good story.
I mean, the story wasn't that great now that I think of it, but I'm trying to think about it. I'm
trying to help you out here, Andreas.
It was a good story.
It was a good story.
And hopefully, no promises, but Derek said he would be on the show next week because we have a scene where he's like, the episode is like a medieval show. They go to the Renaissance Festival, and he got to wear his knight's suit and his armor. And I know Derek wants to be an action star, so he got to do a little sword fighting, sword playing. So maybe he'll be on the episode next week and we could talk about it.
That'd be awesome, Derek. If you're watching, we'd love to have you.
Yes, because then he can talk and I don't have to butcher quotes. So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and Emma puked. So good for you, Emma. Remember she puked in the episode?
I did. On Cassie.
Yeah, so we had a little Emma moment. She's becoming such a great actress.
She's so
she
cute.
pukes on command now. So, all right, that was the episode.
That was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Next week, medieval times.
Renaissance fair.
Ren fair.
Ladies, I'll be your jester. I'll make you laugh.
Oh my god. You and your lines.
Maybe Derek could show us a little, he could show us some sword play.
Yeah. We should all come dressed up as Renaissance fair characters.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well,
I'm holding you to it. You better.
You better too.
I'm going to just bring a big turkey leg, and I'm going to be jousting.
I
watched A Knight's Tale a couple weeks ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen that? Oh, the music's coming out. We should probably go.
It's getting really late here. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Where can they find you?
You could find me at 1141. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
You can find me on Instagram at Greek Casanova. Casa, like a small Spanish-style house, and Nova, like it's pronounced. Greek Casanova on Instagram. And I gave up coffee for Lent, and today was the first day of Lent, so I'm kind of out of it, but I'll be better next week.
He'll be back on it. You guys can find me on Instagram at Annika Michelle 1, and then Twitter at Annika_Michelle, and my website, AnnikaMichelle.com. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.